Hi, I've been waiting. I'm Stitchmouth, and I tell scary stories. Tonight's theme is sleepovers, the kind where something goes wrong. And to start, I'd like to properly introduce myself with a story about Jacob, a boy who offered me his favorite toy, without realizing what that meant. Stitch by stitch the dark comes near, so close your eyes and lend an ear. Jacob's sleepover had been perfect. They'd spent the whole day switching between movies, pizza, and co-op games. Now the night was winding down. Marco and Zach unrolled their sleeping bags across the bedroom floor, laughing as they tossed pillows around. That's when Zach noticed it. A worn-out teddy bear propped on Jacob's bed, its face resting neatly on the pillow. "Wait, do you still sleep with that thing?" Zach asked, grinning. Marco burst out laughing. "Bro, that bear's got stains older than me." Jacob chuckled awkwardly. "It's just old. I've had it since I was a baby." He shrugged like it was nothing. But Zach wasn't done. "Oh, really?" he said, eyebrows raised. "What's his name?" Jacob hesitated. "Brownie, 'cause, he's brown. I wasn't very creative." Marco nodded deadpan. "I thought it was 'cause you haven't washed him in a decade." All three laughed. Jacob gently tossed Brownie to the foot of the bed and climbed under the covers. That's when Zach smirked. "If you don't care about him anymore, maybe you should offer him up to Stitchmouth." Jacob blinked. "Stitchmouth?" Zach paused, watching their reactions. Both boys stared back, curious. "Yeah," he said slowly. "Legend says, if you take a stuffed animal, stitch up its mouth, and leave it outside your room overnight, Stitchmouth comes." "Who's Stitchmouth?" asked Marco. "A monster, antlers like branches, eyes that glow red, and his mouth all stitched shut, but somehow still grinning. They say he appears in the mirror, locks eyes with you for 3 minutes straight. You can't move, can't scream. It's like something else is holding you there, like you've already been claimed. They say he comes to collect part of your childhood." The room went quiet, then more laughter. But Zach leaned in, serious now. "You wouldn't actually do it, would you?" Jacob smirked. "What, stitch up Brownie for your fake monster so he can steal my soul?" "Yeah," Zach said, "unless you're too sentimental." Jacob rolled his eyes. "Fine, I'll use one of Daisy's toys." "Nope," Zach shot back. "Only works if the bear meant something to you. It's the memories, the bond. That's what he feeds on." Marco nodded. "Makes sense." Jacob hesitated, spinning Brownie in his hands. He still loved the bear, but he didn't want to look soft. "All right, I'm in." Marco cheered. Jacob dug out his mom's sewing kit. He chose the thinnest red thread, the smallest needle. Didn't want to damage Brownie more than he had to. He stitched slowly, carefully. Brownie's fur was worn from years of love, his fabric fragile. When it was done, Marco patted Jacob's back. Zach smiled wide. "He looks cursed as hell." Jacob stood up, placed Brownie outside the bedroom door. The bear slumped against the door frame, mouth sealed shut. They all waved goodnight. As the others got into their sleeping bags, Jacob lingered a second longer, whispered, "I'm sorry," then shut the door. The night was still, heavy with quiet. Jacob woke suddenly, 4:07 a.m. He felt fine. He tiptoed over Marco and Zach, peeked out the door. Brownie was still there, same spot, stitched mouth, still. He picked him up for a quick hug, set him down again, then shuffled off to the bathroom. The light buzzed on. He looked in the mirror. Nothing. Jacob laughed under his breath. Figures, then a shape. Behind him, antlers, red glow. That grin, Stitchmouth. Jacob froze, his eyes locked with the mirror, couldn't look away. Stitchmouth's stitched mouth curled open, wider and wider. A hand touched Jacob's shoulder, and he felt it, a piece of him, slipping away. Childhood memories rushed through his mind. Brownie in a crib, Brownie on a road trip. Brownie during thunderstorms. Then, black. Stitchmouth vanished. Jacob trembled in silence. He noticed his soaked pajama pants, grabbed a new pair and crept back toward the bedroom. 4:10 a.m. He knelt, trying to change without waking the others. But the dizziness hit fast. He collapsed. Marco and Zach jolted awake, rushing to him, but Jacob was already fading in and out. The weeks that followed were brutal. Jacob got thinner. He moved slower. That light in his eyes, gone. Doctors ran every test they could think of. Nothing explained it. Marco and Zach started covering mirrors when they visited, but it didn't matter. It was already too late. Stitchmouth had taken Jacob's childhood, but Jacob was still a child, which meant he had nothing left to grow into. No next phase, no anchor, just fading until there was nothing left. That's how I take them. He stitched the mouth. I unstitched the boy. But not every invitation comes from thread and memories. Some are sent through in-game voice chat. Nate's room had that gamer glow. RGB lights humming in waves, 3 custom rigs squeezed shoulder to shoulder under a big blackout poster of Ghost from Modern Warfare. Friday night, 2 pizzas down, a 2-liter of soda fizzing somewhere on the floor. Eli and Jordan had dragged their full PC towers across the neighborhood just for this. A sleepover tradition, LAN Party, war zone, junk food, trash talk. Micah, Nate's cousin, wasn't playing. He sat cross-legged on the bed near the window, sketchpad in his lap, drawing little monsters in pen while the game audio spilled around him. Quiet kid, kept to himself, but always hung out anyway. "All right, Eli," Nate said, grinning. "Try not to die in the first 30 seconds this time." "Yo, chill," Eli laughed. "Let me warm up." Nate's parents were out for the night. Classic dinner and a movie routine. Left the boys alone. No check-ins, no curfew, just static from the baby monitor they hadn't unplugged. They dropped into Warzone trios. Jordan snagged a sniper. Nate cleaned house with an SMG. And Eli, somehow, landed a headshot with a pistol from across the map. "Imagine getting bodied by Eli," Nate laughed. "Bro, uninstall." "Yeah," Eli chimed in. "I suck and still cooked you." That's when the new name popped up in the kill feed, the Watcher 666. They barely noticed until he typed one thing into game chat: "I know where you live." The room went silent. Then everyone cracked up. Jordan. "Oh no, he's standing behind you right now, bro." Nate. "Man, everybody says that when they lose." Eli. "This dude's mad. Micah didn't laugh. He looked up from his sketchbook, eyes still half focused on his monster doodle. "Y'all should chill. There are some weirdos out there." Nate waved him off. "It's war zone, not real life." Micah went back to drawing, but didn't smile. Next game, same name, the Watcher 666 again. But now, different energy. Every movement was perfect, every push timed right. It felt unfair, like he was reading them. They lost. Fast. Nate's Discord pinged. He blinked at the screen, then read it out loud. "GG, Eli. Too easy. How's the candy, Jordan?" Jordan froze mid-snack, hand inches from the mountain of sour candy and Reese's cups on his mouse pad. "Nah," he whispered. "That's not funny." Another message came in. Nate read it too. "Why isn't your friend in the blue sweater playing?" Micah looked down at himself. He hadn't moved from the window. He stood up slowly. "Did one of you mention me in chat? How does he know what I'm wearing, or that I'm not even in the game?" No one responded. Then Jordan's Discord pinged. Another link. He hovered, clicked. It was a live stream, low-res pixelated, but unmistakable. The camera feed showed a quiet suburban street, their street, and then it panned Upward, toward their second-story window, Micah's silhouette, still, framed by RGB glow. He jumped back from the blinds. "Nope, nope, nope!" Nate rushed over, slammed them shut. Eli unplugged his headset. Jordan minimized the screen. Nobody said anything until another message came in. "Still watching." Micah, with shaky fingers, peeked out the curtain's edge. There was someone under the streetlight, standing still, hands at his sides, face just darkness, staring up. "Guys," he whispered, "someone's out there." They looked, all three of them, and froze. That figure started running. No hesitation, no build-up. 1 second standing, the next, full sprint, straight toward the house. Crash, the sound of glass shattering, back patio. That was the sliding door, Nate said, heart racing. He shoved his dresser against the bedroom door. Jordan tossed a beanbag chair on top. Eli just stood there for a beat, then grabbed Micah's guitar and wedged it between the doorknob and wall. Micah was in the corner now, on his phone, trying to dial 911. "No signal," he muttered. "Dude, he killed the service." Footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming up the stairs. Jordan. "Is this really happening?" Eli. "I didn't even say anything that bad." Jordan reached for a final slice of pizza. "Really, Jordan?" Nate snapped. "Jordan, bro, I stress eat. Don't judge me." Then, knuckles tapping on the other side of the door. Then a voice. "Eli dies first, every time." It's easy to talk tough behind a screen, harder when the weirdo you flamed is standing at your door. Now let's move on. To a girl who missed someone so much, she stitched open a door that was never meant to be opened. It was one of those lazy Saturdays in late autumn, the kind where tea tastes better and time slows down. Maya, Lena, and Sierra had been best friends since kindergarten. They had a weekly ritual that consisted of a crafternoon, a self-care session, and a sleepover. They took turns picking the project of the week. This week, Lena decided they were making felt dolls. Maya brought the glue, felt, and string. Sierra had stuffing and googly eyes. And Lena, she showed up with a single patch of old flannel from her late dad's favorite shirt, worn and faded, but folded neatly. They were sprawled on the living room floor, teacups half full, K-pop playing in the background. A cozy mess of scissors, scraps, and half-finished stitches. But Lena was quieter than usual. They'd just started stitching the dolls closed when Lena spoke up. "Hey, can I take a piece of your hair?" Maya blinked. What?" Lena smiled, sort of. "I just thought it'd be cute, like, each doll has a piece of all of us inside." Sierra raised an eyebrow. "Is this, like, that witchy stuff you've been into?" Lena laughed, but didn't answer. Maya and Sierra stepped into the hallway a few minutes later to refill their tea. "She's been acting weird as hell since her dad passed," Maya whispered. Sierra nodded. "You think it's Zane, that goth guy she's dating now?" Maya agreed. "Yeah, he's into all that creepy spiritual crap. I think she's just trying it on." They both agreed it was probably just a phase. Lena would move on. She always did. When they came back, Lena was already sewing the dolls shut, but not before stuffing the insides with that patch of her dad's flannel and 2 tiny strands of hair. The girls were finishing up their last stitches when it happened. Lena jolted. "Ah, damn it!" She held up her finger. A deep prick. Blood was already soaking into the felt of her doll. "You good?" Sierra asked, already grabbing a tissue. Lena nodded, but her hands were shaking. "I just wasn't paying attention." But Lena was the artsy one. She never slipped with a needle. They bandaged her up and moved to the bedroom for their next ritual. Skincare, playlists, and lighting that made everything look slightly magical. K-pop pulsing, serums applied, the vibe returning. Until the cat screamed. All three froze. It came from the living room, sharp, sudden, awful. They rushed in and found him under the coffee table, paw curled in, eyes wide, trembling. A sewing needle was stuck clean through his paw, still threaded with a long piece of yarn. "Oh my God, dude, hold him still," Maya said, crouching down. The cat hissed, flinching as she tried to grab the needle. Sierra knelt beside her, whispering, "It's okay, buddy. It's okay." Lena didn't move. She was scanning the room, eyes darting. "Where's mine?" she asked suddenly. Maya looked up. "What?" "My doll," Lena said. "It's gone." They all glanced at the coffee table. 2 dolls sat exactly where they'd left them, but Lena's was missing. Maya glanced around. Maybe the cat dragged it off. Lena shook her head. "Damn it! I have to go find it." Sierra helped Maya lift the cat and carry him to the kitchen, still trying to pull the thread free. Behind them, Lena was already walking off. A moment later, the garage door creaked open. Maya paused. What the hell? Did she just go into the garage? Her doll wouldn't be in there. Then came the screaming. By the time Maya and Sierra reached the garage, Lena was on her knees, clutching the doll to her chest, rocking back and forth. "Dad, come back," she sobbed, over and over. "Please, please come back." The garage was cold. Maya stepped forward slowly. "Lena." Lena looked up. Her face was pale and streaked with tears. "It works," she said. Her voice cracked. "I talked to him." Sierra's stomach dropped. "What?" "I did it," Lena said. "Just like Zane told me. The hair, the flannel, the blood. It worked. I contacted my dad." The girls looked at each other. "Lena, I think we should call your mom," Maya said gently. "No, God damn it, don't ruin this," Lena snapped. "You don't get it. He was here." Sierra's voice was barely above a whisper. "What do you mean he was here?" But Lena didn't answer. She just kept rocking, clutching the doll. Lena's mom picked her up around 7. Didn't even come inside, just honked from the curb. Lena grabbed her things without a word and left. The house felt different after that. Colder, like the warmth they'd built that afternoon had been wiped clean. Still, Maya and Sierra decided to finish the night like normal. Skincare, TikToks, face masks and fuzzy socks. They even laughed a little. But deep down, neither of them could shake the feeling. Something was off. It was around 11:30 when the energy shifted again. They were sitting cross-legged on the bed, K-pop videos looping in the background, when they heard it. A voice, low, deep, not human, speaking in a language they didn't recognize. Maya muted the speaker. The sound was still going, coming from the garage. Sierra's voice was tight. "What the hell is that?" Neither of them wanted to find out. Maya heard the creak of her parents' bedroom door, then footsteps in the hallway. Her dad's voice, groggy. "What the hell is that sound?" She peeked out just as he passed her door, scratching his head. He was in pajama pants and an old t-shirt, heading for the garage. He opened the door, paused, then stepped inside. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then, "What the?" her dad said. Rough, confused, then something worse. A scream, raw, panicked, animal. Maya froze. Sierra sat up in bed. What was that? Before Maya could answer, her bedroom door burst open. It was her mom. "Girls, go to the neighbors now, go!" They ran barefoot to the neighbor's porch. Sierra was crying. Maya didn't even notice. Everything felt far away. The cops came, then the ambulance. Both of Maya's parents were gone. It was ruled a double heart attack. Same night, same room, no history, no warning signs. The paramedics had no explanation. Neither did anyone else, except Maya and Sierra. They never told anyone what they'd heard. The voice from the garage, the way it felt, like something evil had been invited in. And never left. Later that night, when the cops searched the house, they found Lena's doll, back in the garage, right where she'd been kneeling. The flannel was scorched around the seams, and the stitches, they weren't done in Lena's thread. Whoever finished that doll wasn't trying to bring her dad back. They brought something else. Lena reached for someone she missed, and something else reached back. That's the problem with rituals. You never know who's listening. That's all for now. I'm Stitchmouth, and I'll be waiting.